Yo, 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 it's your boy Mo Dirty Bastard, and I'm here back again with episode 3. Is it 3? Yeah, it's 3. Damn, I kind of fucked up already. Damn. It's episode 3. Episode 3 of My Issue With. And, I just realized that the Superman over Batman video that I just did, which I'm going to link up right here at the top so you can see it and give me more views because I'm the man. Please do. Anyway, it got like 144 views. My first episode, which is the New Japan Bullet Club Civil War fuck up, that got like 68 views. And to a page like this, to me, that might as well be 1,000,000 views. You know what I mean? So I wanted to thank everybody who commented, whether it was a positive, negative, the likes and the time, and basically your time just to watch, even if it was just like 5 minutes, you know what I'm saying, and you just got bored. I appreciate that, you know what I'm saying, because I appreciate anything anybody does for our page. So yeah, I have the second most viewed video in House of Pain. Just want to throw that out there because I know Breeze Lou will be hearing this, or Mr. Pain as he is now, excuse me. Mr. Pain will be hearing this, so in your face. And yeah, man, I'm proud. I'm glad it got off. I'm glad that my segment is doing good. Mr. Payne just did a Joker reaction, and I heard it and it was good. He kept it very straight to the point. No jibber jabber. I'm like, this is it, blah blah, and it was a good video. I like his the beginning where he was kind of like imitating the Joker trailer, the little film reel. I thought that was pretty cool. And yeah, man, he's doing big things. He got like over 50 views with that. ODD, he's doing like the Spider-Man thing and the video game stuff. Getting some good views and traction with that too. So, we gain more subscribers. So, everything's looking up and up. You know what I'm saying? Everything's looking good. And I'm proud, of my brothers doing their thing. So, yeah. This is, I promise to have an episode every week. But the thing is that it's so hard to come off with a topic that I feel that I can do, like this week. You know what I mean? Like I said before, if y'all haven't listened to my last episode, it's like I gotta have like a certain vibe when I do these things. You know what I mean? Like I gotta have a certain time, a certain mood to it. You know what I mean? And the availability, more importantly, because I work a lot. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm a fucking adult, and it's hard for me. You know what I mean? I'm very picky when it comes to like doing these things. You know what I'm saying? Because like it's different from me like arguing with somebody about something, because that's different. That's just, I'm not really trying to showcase anything. I'm just trying to prove a point. And here it's also similar, but you know what I mean? It's like I feel like I'm talking to the whole universe at the same time without actually talking to the whole universe. I mean, so anyway, so I started writing like these topics of what I'm talking about next in my episodes, and there was one that I was really aching to do, but I'm gonna leave that for the fourth one. I'm not gonna tell y'all what it is, but it's most likely gonna be the fourth one if all goes well. Breeze Lou had made a comment because just a few minutes ago I'm telling him that we's gonna Mr. Payne, excuse me. I'm trying to keep the kayfabe, bro. I'm trying to keep the kayfabe. I'm trying. It's gonna take me a little time, man. He said that like, oh, you're gonna take all the views, and I'm like, I don't know about this one, cause if you haven't figured out by the title yet, if you can't fucking read, it's religion. For anybody who doesn't know, I'm not an atheist, but I guess that would be the ideology that I would most likely be clinging to. It should be agnostic, but I'm more of an atheist, I guess, because I deny more than just be like, hey, maybe yes, maybe no, like an agnostic. So I deny more, so I would have to include myself as an atheist. But anyway, I'll get back to that, obviously, because this is going to be what the whole episode is about. But I'm like, I don't think it's going to get that many views. Because, I'm doing one which is wrestling, which, wrestling in YouTube is big. Regardless of what people think about wrestling nationwide, it's huge in YouTube. And the second one was comic books. It's Batman, Superman. So of course it's gonna get a lot of views. I don't know if this was gonna get a lot of views. Hopefully it does. You know, hopefully it gets a lot of traction, because this is something that's a little bit more serious than the other ones. You know what I'm saying? This is a lifestyle and a philosophy that people live by. So hopefully people would take this episode more seriously than the other ones. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to downgrade my other ones. You know, I'm proud of those too. But yeah, you know what I mean? Religion. So it took me a while to think about this, because I know how certain people feel about religion. And, you know, certain people want to stay away from that kind of subject, especially in these days in YouTube and just like censorship and these SJWs, and they don't want you to do this, they don't want you to do that, yada, you know what I mean? But I feel that things like this need to be spoken out. Things like this need to be said. And this is what I'm here for. This is why House of Pain is here for, is to keep it real with you. And we keep it real with you when it comes to your faith, your mentality, your video games, your movies, your music. That's why we're here. We're here to keep it real, whether you agree with us or not. You get all of us 110%, always, every day. But ladies and gentlemen, no more intro. This is the third episode of my issue with religion. Now, warning, I don't hate religious people. My mom is religious. I have a lot of close friends who are religious, or at least spiritual. And it's nothing really that I'm completely against, but more of the physical establishment of religion, the churches, the organization. I do have my beef with the idea of a God, and maybe I'll get into it if I have enough time. But it's more of the establishment of religion and what it does to a community as a whole. So, I was raised a Catholic, like all Spanish people are, or at least most of them. And, you know, I started to question my faith around 13, 14 years of age. And that's a pretty young age. But I wasn't like normal kids. And I know a lot of people say that shit, but I really wasn't, man. I was like 13, 14-year-old, like reading history books and reading like things on philosophy and like Freemasons and like secret societies and cults and stuff like that. Like I was reading all that shit up, you know what I mean? And that's stuff that interests me. And, you know, I started questioning my faith, not because like something tragic happened and I was like blaming God for it or questioning why God would do this to me. I ain't doing none of that shit. That's bullshit. It was because my mentality was more like, I gotta see these things. I gotta make sure like these things happen. You know what I'm saying? I'm a very visual person. Like not just visual, but hear and touch and taste. Like if I can't see it, or you can't prove it in some fallible way, then I don't really gonna believe in it. You know what I mean? That's just not in my realm of thought. So I started questioning religion a lot, and I realized that I didn't really had the quote unquote the faith. I had the belief. I just did it because my mom kind of just indirectly forced me into it. You know what I'm saying? Like it was more like, you know, she took me to church, and church was fucking boring as fuck. Now I went to a Baptist church one time. Baptist church is the shit. All right, they dance, they start preaching and singing and stuff. There's a lot of energy and stuff like that. But I feel like you need to do that because you'll be bored. You know, when they just talking about mass and all that crap, that shit is boring, bro. For a kid, I was playing my Game Boy Color I think it was Game Boy Color when I was out at that time. Like I was playing Game Boy Color. All you hear is like a Pokemon battle. When everybody was praying, all you hear is like you hear is like the sound effects of the Pokemon battle. I swear, it was boring as fuck, man. It was boring as fuck, man. I hated it, you know. And the reason I'm saying the story is because it kind of leads into one of the things that I wanted to say about religion, is that I feel that religion is kind of like indirectly influenced into us. You know what I'm saying? Like it's all like a psychological thing. Like for example, what I mean is, in detail, is that when you turn 18, or matter of fact, not even 18. Let me take it younger. 13 or 14 is the age when you kind of start thinking on your own. You know what I'm saying? You start thinking for your own. You're not a whole person yet. You still don't know who you are. But you start thinking about it. You start thinking about, my favorite color. Do I like men or women? What kind of movies I like. You know what I'm saying? Like the foods you start to like. This is when your mind starts developing who you are. And what you like and how you react and stuff like that. So I feel that a lot of people who are religious are just religious because of safety's sake. It's a mental coding, a safety net in their mind. Now, to go into detail about that is that when you're young, when you're a kid, you're easily gullible to your surroundings. Anything that's around you, that's your comfort zone because that's what you've been raised upon. So when you have family who are all praying, they have Jesus. I'm Catholic, so I know about this, okay? Like Spanish Catholic, right? Where they have like the Jesus pictures everywhere, the rosaries everywhere, you know what I mean? The Last Supper picture, like the portrait, I mean, like that's there. You know what I mean? Like I was raised with all that. Your mind, I feel subconsciously, it starts developing a safety net around that. So when you get older and people ask you, are you religious or not? You say, yeah, because that world has been already laid out for you mentally, and that's where you feel safe at. And detouring out that road, it's damageable. Like it can conflict with your safety net. You understand what I'm saying? Like I'm not trying to get too psychological in this, but that's how I see it. Because since we've been raised a certain way, that's what you feel safe with. It's just the same as saying if I go to somebody who's not from my culture and I'm like, yeah, when it was Spanish, my mom used to hit me. You know what I'm saying? That's just how we were raised. The same thing, or like the cooking, she made rice like this and chicken like this with salt, grease, or whatever the case may be, because that's how we were raised and that's how I cook it. That's the same thing with religion. With religion is you were raised to not directly believe it. Like they're not telling you should believe in God. Maybe some of them are, but at least not me. But because I was shown all of that, when I get older, my mind feels safe with that idea to believe in God, to have a religion. You know what I'm saying? And I feel this is where religion is wrong. Or at least the people around it are wrong. I feel like you shouldn't influence that on somebody. I don't think you should influence anything on anybody. I think everybody should find out who they are and what faith they believe in, if they have one, if they want to have one, on their own. I've been asked this before about like when you have a kid, like, are you going to be like atheist with your kid? I'm like, no, I'm not. Not at all. I'm pretty sure there are some atheists that would be like that, but not me. You know what I'm saying? Like, if my kid grows up, if I had it my way, you know what I'm saying? Because, the mother of my child is probably going to know he's going to do something. He's going to get baptized or something like that, whatever. But I'll cross that bridge when I have to. But what I'm saying is that if I had a kid, like, I wouldn't be telling my kid, like, oh, don't believe in God. You know what I'm saying? You shouldn't believe in God because this and that. I'll be like, no, I'm going to let my kid find out on his own. On her own, excuse me. Like, if my kid comes out and says, yo, I'm Muslim, I'm like, hey, I mean, is that the faith you really believe in? Do you really feel attached to this faith? Like, do you feel happy? Do you feel close spiritually to God? Do you really feel that way? And he or she says yes. And I'm like, hey, man, go ahead, do you. You're still my kid, no matter what. But if the opposite, if my kid comes out and says like I'm a Satanist, I don't care either. That's just my mentality, though. I know a lot of people care about that. But like, if he says I'm a Satanist, I'm a Satanist and I worship Satan or whatever, I'm like, hey, does that make you happy? Yeah, then go ahead, do your thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna get in your way. You're Catholic or you Jew or Shinto or Buddhist or Hindu, like, go ahead. If you feel that's you, then go ahead and do you. As long as you didn't feel like you were influenced by external sources to believe in that. It was you who went out and did it. You know what I'm saying? It's you who went out and read the Quran and read the Bible, you know what I'm saying, the Torah and all that. Like, you went out there and you did it yourself. You went to Mecca and you enjoyed it and you felt a closeness to God, you know what I'm saying? Like, as long as it was you and you did your own thing, then go ahead, believe in whatever you want. But don't tell me that you believed in it because that was the way I was raised. You understand what I'm saying? I don't believe in that. I don't like that. Because that all you're telling me is that that's the way you were raised, is that they didn't give you an option. You was just given that ideology at the beginning. And to me, the reason why I take that so seriously is because the way I think, I take that very seriously. I'm a person who I value other people's minds. Like I love different people. I love people different than me. I love religious people. I love Satanists. I love other atheists. I love people different than me. You know what I'm saying? I like individuality just as much as like a person's mentality. You know what I'm saying? So this is why I take this shit so personal, because you have an ideology, a philosophy, I should say, at this point, where it's telling you to believe in this, it's telling you to believe in that, and don't question it. And this is just how it is. And I'm not that type of person. I gotta question shit. I gotta question shit all the time. I mean, anything. I gotta question it, because that's just the nature of my reality. Like I gotta question shit. So when you have a organization that has a philosophy that tells you you can't question this, this is how it is, this is how it is, and that's it. Don't no if, ands, or buts, as they say. I can't do that, and I can't understand why nobody else could do that. You understand what I'm saying? Like I don't know why everybody else believes in this religion. It's ridiculous. Like yeah, people can be like, well, it doesn't do anything wrong, it doesn't harm anybody. It's like, I'm not saying that it physically harms somebody. I'm talking about it mentally harms you. It mentally harms you, and you don't even know it. You know what I'm saying? Because you're saying that, oh well, it's not forcing me to do anything. I still think freely. No, you're not. If you're Catholic and you say I'm Catholic, then you're not. That's not free thinking, because you're stuck to one philosophy. You know what I'm saying? You can't say you open-minded and then say, yeah, but I'm Catholic. You're not open-minded, bro. You know what I'm saying? You believe in just one faith. On the other hand, atheist is not a religion. I'm just gonna say that because a lot of people say that shit and it's not. But it's more, my atheism comes more of anti-religion than more lack of belief in a God. I'm not saying that I do believe in God, but what I'm saying is that it's more of a like anti-religion. You know what I'm saying? I attack religion more than like the idea of a God existing. You know what I mean? And this is why I feel so strongly about it, because I feel is a concept that it needs to be stopped in a way. It needs to be controlled. I mean, we have churches, we have this and that, and especially in the Catholic Church, where you have like all these priests raping kids, molesting little children. I mean, that's the fucking thing you support. That's the fucking religion that you support. You understand what I'm saying? Yo, I don't do that. I don't like it when you do that. But you're in that religion. It's the same religion that the Pope has said that they want. Like, they have put this kind of like code in that a priest can't rat out on another priest if they find out that they're molesting little kids. That's the religion that you belong to. You understand what I'm saying? That's the religion that you're supporting by going every Sunday and putting money into that fucking basket. You know what I'm saying? Like and Muslim too. Muslims take into like a volume 10. They no rights for women. You can't do shit in there. You can't curse. You can't do nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like Jews, if this is I didn't get that much into Jews or whatever, but like they have their own like fuck ups. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, to me, all religions do. Like, no religion is safe from, or it's not safe from criticism. You know what I'm saying? And judgment, because they all fucked up. Now, I'm not saying that religion doesn't bring anything good to society, but it does. It gives the people a sense of belonging and stuff like that. But when we're in this world where we're believing the philosophy of a concept that's like thousands of years old, right? And instead of being in a society where we're seeing that as philosophy, as something that's extinct, it's the most populated ideology in the world. My question is like, where the fuck is our minds at? This is something that 1,000 years ago was made. Okay, 1,000 years ago. This is a philosophy that was invented thousands of years ago, and we're here still believing in that. You know what I'm saying? Like, does that blow anybody's mind? Where are we as society that we haven't moved on from this? That we haven't moved. Oh yeah, sure. The Egypt Horus and the sun god Ra. That's bullshit. That's bull. Yeah, Zeus and Hades. That's bull. But no, Catholicism is real. Muslim is real. Judaism is real. So that's real. That's real. Let me tell you something about history. Religious history. Religious history is this. This is basically religious history in a nutshell. It gets created, it rules, and then it gets taken over by a new religion. That's the history of religion. When the Egyptians had their religion, bam, the Greeks came. They had their own religion. They took some of the concepts from Egypt. They had their own, and then they made their own religion. Bam, after that, the Romans came, basically took the same concept as the Greeks, just changed the names up and added some of that stuff. And then bam, then what happened after the Romans? That's when Christianity came in. And then they had their own belief and blah, blah. And then that is starting to rule. And then in the next 1,000 years, a new religion is going to take over, because that's just how it is. The history of religion is already set in stone. It's born, it lives, and then it dies, and it's being taken over by a new religion. Who's to say that Scientology won't be the religion like 20 years from now to rule the world? Not 20 years from now, that's way too much. But like 500 years from now. Who's to say? Who's to say? Because if we go back to the Roman times, when Christianity was existing, nobody thought at that time that Christianity would be what it is now. You understand what I'm saying? So I get so infuriated because we still believe in this like old school way of thinking. We can let go of the culture. We can let go of their customs. We can let go of ancient traditions, but we can't let go of religion. We can't let go of Christianity, Catholicism. We can't let go of that. Like, why isn't it we can't let go of that? And just move on to more scientific things, more scientific solutions. It's not the answer to everything. No, it's not. But I feel it's a much better solution than the invisible guy in the sky looking at everybody. You know what I'm saying? For his own fun or whatever the fuck he wants to do, or she wants to do. I don't give a fuck. So where are we as a society that we still believe in these type of things? We need to get out of this shell, this religious shell. We need to break out of it and release the bondage that it brings, because it's not advancing us as a species. It's not advancing us. I mean, maybe in small ways, yeah. I'm not gonna sit here and say that religion didn't contribute. Okay, matter of fact, going into this, there's gonna be some religious people or some people saying that, well, a lot of like scientific breakthroughs was done by religious people who were devout religious people. This is true. I'm not taking that away. But when those people were conducting said experiments, said theories, they took their religion out of that process. They didn't rely on it. They had to think clearly for these experiments to work. They didn't go into the experiment saying, okay, this is God's will, or this is part of God. No, they had to take that out and just be like, this is of nature. This is of the natural order of things. They had to take the mentality of their faith out, because they knew that's not part of the scientific process. You understand what I'm saying? So yeah, there are priests who did scientific breakthroughs and stuff like that. Priests, actual priests. And then people like Albert Einstein was a devout Catholic. And he's like known as, probably the most smartest man ever in the history of like everything. But they took that, when they were doing these experiments, when they were doing all this stuff for science, they took the concept of God out. They didn't stop believing in it, but they knew that in the process of doing these scientific breakthroughs, they couldn't rely on that. Because they know that science is about fact and proof, and what you can feel, what you can see, you feel and touch and taste and hear. It has to be that. They know they can't be God, because at the end of the day, they can't prove God that exists. So, that's my issue with religion. Like, it's become such a dominant force in society these days where you can't escape it. You know what I'm saying? And then, especially in the country where I live at, in the United States, where granted, people left, this kind of like country was sort of based on religious intolerance. Like, people, they were not able to believe on what they want to believe, and then they came here and they wanted people to believe on whatever they want to believe. You know what I'm saying? And separation of church and state. There's a reason historically why they did this. There's a reason why there's a separation of church and state in the United States of America, because the church had so much power. It had so much power before. It's in your history books. Like, I'm not trying to sound like one of those nerdy kids or like really, like straight goody dudes, but it's in your history books. Read it up online or your virtual encyclopedia, whatever the fuck you do. This is in history. This is why this is separation of church and state, because they had to separate the church from the state, because at one point the church was the state. Anybody who doesn't understand what the state means like the government, the power that be. At one point, killing a king was more acceptable than killing the pope. If you killed the king, it was fine, but killing the pope was crazy. It was heresy at the time. That was heresy. Like that was unforgivable. You understand what I'm saying? That's why you saw kings die all the time by poison or by backstabbing, and naturally, of course. But you always see some suspicious shit with their deaths. But a pope never had a suspicious death like that. I mean, I'm not saying there weren't popes that got maybe like killed and shit like that because like of an enemy or something like that. But a lot of popes they either retired pope or they died naturally, because nobody would accept the idea of actually killing a pope. You understand what I'm saying? This is the messenger of God on earth. The person that could solely speak to God, has the direct link to God. And mind you, he's voted in. It's not like a light shines in the Vatican and says, "Oh, you're the new Pope, Moses." You know what I'm saying? Like it's not like that. You know what I mean? So it's voted in. You know. But anyway, I'm going like, you know, somewhere else with that one. This is an organization that had political power. You know what I mean? They had political power, and if you didn't believe in them, you get executed. The conquistadors, the Crusades, all the great wars now, a lot is based on religion or some kind of faith. The Middle East, the terrorists, you know what I'm saying? The extreme Muslims, like there's always the extreme Buddhists over there in Southeast Asia. Like this is crazy shit. This is like it's an organization that produces violence, like indirectly and not indirectly, but like I don't know, maybe indirectly, I'm not sure, but it produces violence. You know what I'm saying? And you being part of that system, all you're doing is supporting it in your own way, because you're not saying like, no, this is wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, dude, if as a Catholic, if I was a Catholic right now, and I find out that there's been over 100 cases, like how it is now, of priests molesting little children, my faith will be gone after that. Because if a priest who's been doing this his whole life cannot keep his faith, cannot go by his faith, then why the fuck do I want to believe in that? Why do I want to support that religion? You understand what I'm saying? Why there's so many denominations? Why there's so many like different types of Catholicism and Christianity? There has to be a reason for it, because it's bull. It's bullshit, and people want to conduct their own version of it. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I don't want to be Catholic. Let's make Lutherans and Calvinists and fucking Baptists and fucking Jehovah's Witnesses. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have different ones making their own rules and taking out parts of the Bible that is great and things they feel is not, taking it out, making their own rules and stuff like that, and their own customs. It's bull. It's bull. It's a man-made man-made shit. Like, it's just whatever like man wants to do with the ideology. It's just like, oh, you know, I'm not Catholic, I'm gonna be a Baptist, so I'm gonna change this up or whatever, or Protestant or whatever. Our priests could get married. Okay, that's the difference. Who the fuck says that? Like, who's to say that? You know what I'm saying? But this is religion. It's I don't know, man. It's this whole process of religion and its power and its influence that I feel that it needs to stop. It doesn't need to go away. Not at all. I see the positivity in religion, but it's something that needs to, at some level, it needs to get the fuck out. You know what I'm saying? That influence that it has, it needs to go. And I don't know. Like, maybe one day, I feel like now there's a start. Like, you know, it's like this, you know, no pun intended, scientific revolution for all you history nuts. But I feel there's like a scientific revolution going on now where a lot more people are being atheists, or at least are being more lenient to science, and they're going that way. You know, even though religion still has a stronghold, it's like a billion people who are Catholic and Muslim, you know, it still has a stronghold. But I feel that in the media, in the culture, there's a big push of like science-driven thought, and I think that's great. I think that's great. I think that's wonderful, and I hope down the line, us as a species and a society, we get to that point where it's science and human ingenuity that's advancing us instead of old age philosophy. But anyway, that's just my thoughts on it, and that's my issue with religion. Um, the fourth episode, like I said, I'm not gonna tell you what it is, but I'm gonna see what I could do about it. Hopefully, maybe I could get it by next week, or I don't know if this episode might come out next week or anything. But leave your thoughts, man. I mean, this is something I really would like to hear from people, man. Please, like, if you just listen to like a minute of it and you thought it was bullshit, I don't care. Leave a comment, be like, yo, your thing was, I didn't agree with it because I think it was wrong. I think your mindset is bob. Anything. I want discussion. I want arguments. You know, nothing too crazy though. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't attack me, but like, if you disagree, go ahead. You know what I mean? Let's go. We could talk about it in the comments or whatever the case may be. If you want to like or dislike the video, that's on you. Fuck you if you dislike it, and you know, share it and subscribe. You know what I mean? Hopefully this video gets some traction. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm trying to keep the House of Pain, you know, thriving and living and moving forward. So you know, shout out to the guys in House of Pain doing their own thing, and hopefully we do a podcast this coming Sunday and everything goes well. But yeah, that's my thoughts on religion. I could have said a lot more. Maybe like with some of these episodes, I'll do like a part 2. You know, down the line, if I feel like I could say a lot more. With this one, I definitely could say a lot more. But I just want to see. You know, I just wanted to say what I need to say about the influence and the power of religion more, and how that needs to be slowly, you know, decreased. But yeah, you know, like I said, let me know what you think. Other than that, you know, have a good day, and God bless you.